Oh,
Hey, Blake,
yeah, there you are.
trying to get us live on Instagram.
Okay.
All
Oh,
right, I think we're good.
yeah, I think it's going. I see it popping on the phone.
Yeah. We're good now. All right, so we're live. Let's take a minute to let a few people join.
Yeah. Oh, I see. And this is a little chat we got in here.
Yeah, we got a few people jumping on. Not sure how to see who's live, like from StreamYard, but
Yeah.
I can see who's watching us on Instagram.
Oh, I see. That's cool.
Yeah. All right. So what's up, Blake? How's it going?
What's going on? Yeah, another day. Had to fix a couple machines and stuff, fill a few machines.
Yeah. Tell everybody where you're at.
South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, and I was in West Palm today. I was in Miami yesterday. Go all over, go out to
How,
Naples, all that.
how far do you go?
Uh, I went to St. Augustine a few weeks ago. Went to Orlando and Daytona week after that. Fort Myers, Naples. Yeah, I was in Cape Coral over the weekend. Had an event out there.
What?
So I'm all over.
You do a lot of events?
Yeah, I had 2 last weekend. I got 3 this weekend.
Damn.
Yeah, it's getting crazy.
So do you like events? I personally don't like events. I don't do
I
events.
mean, it's not so bad. Like once you got it down, like you're good. You know how to run it. You roll out there, hang out. As long as your other stuff is good, like you're set. A big thing I've been working on with events, and I actually just got this, just came in. Big
Well,
battery pack.
so
So
you don't
I
need
put that
power
in the bottom. Yeah, no power needed.
for how long?
I mean, this thing is twice the size of my other 2 I have, and those will run a machine for like 16 hours, maybe 14, 12 to 14 with steady transactions.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it'll run all day. The small ones will run one machine all day. This one should run 2 or 3 all day.
So you
So,
pick it up at night and you go charge it?
charge it at home, charge it in the car on the way home. Yeah, and they charge overnight just fine.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So the reason I don't like events, because I did events in the very beginning,
Yeah.
and man, it's a pain in the ass. Like you got to get out there, set up all these ATMs. Like you got to go back every day and get your money out of them at night a lot of times.
Yeah.
And usually when the event ends on like a Sunday, it ends at 10 o'clock at night or whatever, and
Yeah.
you have to go pick them up. And I always found it was hit or miss. You have events where you make a ton of money in like 2 or 3 days, and then you have other ones where you think you're going to make a ton of money, you don't make any money. And I just got tired of it, man. Like I found it to be like a really rough thing, the event business. But I know other people like yourself love it.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I like to be out and about anyway. So it's like, all right, this one's in the neighborhood. Like, I'll go out there, set it up, see what's what. Okay, I'll do it again, or I won't do it again. It's
Mhm.
like, oh, it's back again. Let me contact them, see what's up. You got to try it out. It's like locations, but short term. You
Yeah,
know,
I get that. I mean, I could see for like the right person. Maybe I've just been doing it too long at this point. I don't
yeah,
know. But for somebody new, I could see it being like very exciting for some people. But hey, we have some more people that have joined. Let's like reintroduce you, Blake, just so everybody knows who you are. I mean, most of us know you. You have the
yeah.
signature beard. That's your trademark. We all know, but there's a few people here who maybe don't know you. So just give us like quick rundown who you are, where you are, how you got started, how long you've been doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Blake Piha Corp. name's in the name. And well, I own, operate, run machines. A big thing I do is servicing and maintaining machines. You know, people call me with their problems and they don't know what to do with them. And well, I find a solution. I get parts and everything, you know, processing events, all that kind of stuff. Hyosung certified. And then so starting, I guess that was the fun part. I was working with someone before, you know, under their company and servicing machines for their clients and everything.
Mhm.
And then, you know, I went off and started doing my own and just started growing from there. I was like, oh, I know what to look for in a used machine. I started buying a machine. I think the first machine I got was a 5000 SE, and it had a 2K in it and everything. It was a nice machine. And I was thinking about it last week. I still have it, and I use it for events now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I threw a 4K in it, you know, double dispenser, and 20s and 100s, 20s and 10s, whatever needed, you know, and it's still going.
You have events with hundreds?
Yeah,
What kind of events are those?
like cash only Christmas tree stand.
Okay.
You know, so the trees will be like $600, $1,000, and you know, the guy got tired of having so many 20s, and I was like, okay, I got you next year. You know, and now the past couple of years, I run 20s and 100s.
I could see it at like a gun show maybe too.
Yeah, I did that too recently. I brought it out and it did really good. The lady was surprised, like one of the workers used it, the head lady. And she's like, oh, yeah, I got $100 bill. And then I had to go get change. I was like, yeah, I mean, I figured they're buying guns and stuff, so they want the big bills.
Yep. So I got to ask you, you said you're Hyosung certified. You're a Hyosung
Yeah.
guy or Gen Mega guy?
I like them both. I have both. I work on both. They all work, they all break, and they all make you money. And that's what I tell people. Like, get the one that you want. You know, they all do what they do. One's better at this, one's better at that. I like Gen Megas at events because you can see the screen outside.
Yeah.
I like the Hyosungs inside because the big screen is nice to put some graphics on it.
Yeah.
You know, so there's give and take.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm diehard Gen Mega.
Yeah.
I use Hyosungs as like boat anchors.
Yeah, they're heavy. That's right.
Yeah, they are good for that. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan, but we do have some, I guess. Just a few. Somebody asked a question. They want to know how many machines do you have and what's your average monthly revenue per location? I don't know if you want to reveal all of that, but that's what just asked.
I don't know. I never really divided it up like that. And then I got to look at like my vaulting, you know, income versus my locations and then vaulted locations. And yeah, I don't know. I got to divide that up and figure out what they really make as far as mine. Cause I just look at it as a whole really. Cause the bottom line is what matters. You know, you're making money. And then the cost against it. You know, but
yeah, I could tell you, me personally, and we don't vault anything. All of our stuff's vaulted by third party loaders. But
yeah,
we, after paying the location, paying the loader, I won't do a deal where we can at least clear $250 a month.
yeah.
Now, sometimes it ends up being less, but if I can't like model it out to show that I should be at least $250 a month, I generally don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And you know, unless it's maybe like part of a package deal.
Yeah.
And take it because of the other ones, as long as it averages out to over $250 a month. But yeah, I mean, if it misses and it's not $250 a month, then depending on how low it is, we might pull it out or renegotiate the deal. I mean, anything like under $100 a month, like
yeah,
I just pull it out. Like
that's ready to go.
Having, you know, at like 150, 200, maybe it works.
But. Yeah, if it fits in the route.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. We have more questions here. Do you consider this passive income?
Somewhat. You know, I see it as like flexible, variable schedule income because it's like I could look at the route and be like, all right, today I'm going to go north because the south stuff's all right. That one's a little low, but it could wait till tomorrow. But that one, it's a little more low. I'll go that way, and then, but I could do it the other way. So it's kind of flexible. And then I don't know, like right now, I'm sure both of us are getting, a dozen transactions, every few minutes or whatever it is. So I mean, it's semi-passive. But if that machine goes down, you usually got to run after it. Because that business might rely on it. They might be cash only. They might have a party going on. So, there's emergencies that come up as well.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, like once you get to a certain size, I don't think it's actually passive anymore.
Yeah.
So, once you have employees and like an office, overhead, it's not passive anymore. It's like a real full-time job.
Yeah.
So like that's when people ask me that question, like, well, it can be passive-ish depending on how many you have, where they are, how you're operating. I mean, there are people that buy portfolios that are fully vaulted, and for the most part, it's pretty hands off. They just sub out everything.
Yeah.
So it is possible to make it somewhat passive.
Yeah. Yeah. It just lowers your bottom line. The more you do, the more you make.
That's right. Yep. And then we have another question, Dave from Run Dash Cash.
Oh, yeah.
I think we've heard of that guy.
I might know him.
He wants to know, how long have you been growing your beard?
Like 2 years. Yeah, I think I might have cut a couple little stragglers along the bottom, but yeah, about 2 years.
That's solid. Very solid.
Yeah.
We have another question here. What do you think about gold ATMs?
Gold. Oh, the ones that dispense the gold. I mean, it's pretty cool. I bought some of it at the show when we were out there, and I don't know what to do with it. Like it's cool that it's like gold value and everything, but it's got to. I asked them.
Gold backs themselves, like the bills.
Yeah, exactly. I bought them, and I asked them. I was like, "Hey, do you guys do this in Florida?" And they're like, "No, we don't do it there yet." Yeah. See, here's one.
What?
It's like a gold. Like it's cool.
So how much was that?
This one was $20, and it's 5 gold backs. It goes by like gold conversion for however much this is. 1/200th of a troy ounce of 24 karat gold. I mean, it seems cool.
Seems very niche.
Yeah. I'm not sure where it's accepted. I mean, this one says Nevada, so I mean, I can't use it here really.
Like Nevada, Utah, maybe like Montana. It's like 3 or 4 states that have made it.
Yeah.
Gender.
And I wonder what the retailers do with it. Like the ones that do accept it. Like, do they keep it? Do they go to the bank? Does the bank accept it? Like, can they convert it and pay their rent or something? I don't know.
I bet they don't.
Yeah. They just pile it up.
I'm not sure that there's enough demand to have a gold ATM in like every gas station. But I did the same thing about Bitcoin ATMs, and they have one in every gas station. Now, is there actually enough demand for it? That's another question, because I think a lot of these Bitcoin ATMs are very slow, and a lot of them are broken and turned off for months or years.
Yeah. Some go out of business.
Yeah. Don't. For anybody listening thinking about getting into Bitcoin ATMs, don't do it. It was a terrible decision. Very glad that we don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
We have another question. How do you ensure the security of ATMs?
Well, that's always a tough one. And that's always something you have to assess on like a per location basis, like, is it 24 hours? Like you bolt it down, of course. That's always like rule number 1. Bolt it down. Otherwise, the machine will grow legs. That's what I always tell people. And when a merchant's like, oh, can you like bolt it down another day and we want to move some stuff? Okay, then I can't put money in it. I'll leave it here, but there won't be any money in it. And, don't put it by windows and doors, because I'm sure you guys see the videos with the rope around the ATM and a stolen pickup. There's always that. And I don't know, if you could wedge it by a wall or something, anything to go around it, that always helps, because there's a lot of attacks out there, whether they pull it, they cut it, crowbars.
What's it like down there in Florida? I mean, is that one of the higher crime areas for ATM attacks?
Uh, I don't know. I'd say it's kind of in the middle. It's not so bad, but I mean, stuff does go on. The police will find machines in the canal or the river. It's like, oh, well, someone's machine went missing, or I saw on a billboard, I think a guy robbed an armored car truck recently, a few days ago. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like wanted for ATM robbery or something, on billboards, like digital billboards. And
Yeah, we need to learn how to sell those ads because
yeah,
we
I was
sell
wondering,
advertising too. We need to figure out how to sell the ads for
yeah,
people who want it.
I was wondering who's paying for that.
Awesome. There's
But
quite a few wanted people down where I'm at, so we
yeah.
could we could definitely sell some ads. That'd be a great money maker. We have some more questions. Cali ATMs asked, "What's your favorite thing about being in the ATM business?"
Just always on the move, always, seeing new people, new faces, new things, and just always able to grow. Like you can always drive around town and you see a new business open, and it's like, oh, let me stop in there. Even if you don't get the location, you still get to talk to them. Maybe they got a guy, and maybe he does something cool, and you learn just a little something from that. And
Mm-hmm.
you can carry that on to your own business as well. So it's like there's no end to the progression. You can
That's
just
true.
keep growing and growing.
You meet everybody in this business. Like
Yeah,
even if you don't land them as a customer, you still know everybody because you've talked to everybody after so many years. Like this business in a way is like the best thing that ever happened to me because now my other businesses benefit from all the relationships I've built and people I've met just by knocking on doors, whether they actually use our ATMs or not.
yeah,
Because I mean, a lot of times you meet somebody, you build a relationship with them, but they're either very loyal to the guy they have or they they have a contract or whatever. So but you still build that relationship, and when you walk in there with another product like cash discount or in our case indoor billboards or kiosks, wherever it may be, like you actually have that relationship that you made years ago, and you can go back in there and they know who you are and they've kind of already wanted to do business with you. So
yeah.
it is great for that. You're always meeting new people. It's a fun business. Dave asked, "How does your ATM communicate to process a transaction?" Even though
Oh,
we know Dave knows the answer to that
yeah.
question.
That goes through the internet, and that could be, well, you could either run a wire all the way to their modem somewhere through the store in their mess of spaghetti, or you could get a little cellular wireless box, and that'll go, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and it talks to the networks and makes internet for the ATM. And the data is very small, so it's not expensive. And I mean, these guys make some good wireless boxes at DPL.
Mm-hmm.
Wireless store is good too. I have both. Just like anything else, I got both. If it makes sense, it
We
makes
don't have
sense.
any DPLs. We probably should have DPLs, but we don't have DPLs. We're all ATM wireless and
Mm.
OptiNet.
Yeah, the DPL is cool. You could hit the switch and restart it. It's got the built-in RMS. If your processor doesn't have that, you could change the welcome message and do fun things and change the receipt message on it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like different analytics. You could see like I think PAI has some good graphs you can look at. DPL has some cool graphs for cash in and out, and
Mm-hmm.
surcharge. So,
That's awesome.
and you could pull the journals, so if you get a
Awesome.
dispute.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have RMS. So if you don't have RMS, like that's the
Yeah.
next best thing, really. Even if like PAI, you could use PAI, they have RMS built in, but if you're not using their modems, it's not really fully functional.
Yeah.
We have more questions. Would you put an ATM in a cash discount business?
Uh, I mean, they already have, well, yeah, they have cash discount, I guess. Could try it, but it sounds like they also take credit card too. So it
Hmm.
depends on how much of a discount they're giving and if they're going to tell the people like, hey, pay cash and you get this price, not like, oh, you could pay card and cash is less, and they'll be like, oh, well, card's easier. I'm not going to run back and forth to the machine and come back to you and get change. You know, so people pay for convenience at the end of the day, you know, so it's hit or miss. I mean, you could try it, but I don't think it would go crazy.
We have most of our ATMs, the type of ATMs we like, the locations we go after, I mean, almost all of our ATMs are in locations that accept cards.
Yeah.
And actually, we have many locations that don't even accept cash. But like, so like a lot of our hotels, don't even accept cash, and like certain event venues and stuff don't even accept cash, but people still use the ATMs. Like when we have a hotel go cashless, it doesn't affect the ATM at all, because people weren't using the ATM to spend the cash at the hotel.
Yeah, like they take it out
devices or to go, you know, somewhere outside of the hotel. They don't want people to know where they went with their card and stuff. So actually, like I would still, I mean, every one of the most recent locations I can think of that we have, like they take cards that, and I can only think of probably in our whole portfolio, maybe like 5 locations out of, you know, a lot of locations that are totally cash only. Now before COVID, there was way more, like Bourbon Street in New Orleans, like all the daiquiri shops used to be cash only, and now they're not. And like I only know of maybe like 2 bars in the French Quarter that are still cash only. And actually now there are cashless bars in the French Quarter, which is unbelievable, because at one time the whole point of owning a bar in the French Quarter was to be cash only and taking cash for, you know, obvious reasons that we're not going to get into. But so another question from Dave. Again, Dave's just tearing it up today. He wants to know, do you have ATM toppers?
Like the video screens? Nah. I mean, I found a couple TVs recently, and I do want to mount them up there. I'm just trying to think of what, you know, do I want to plug a little computer into it? Do I want to just put a USB in there and throw a couple slides on it? You know, but otherwise I just have the standard, you know, ATM, get cash, you know, nothing fancy, simple and to the point. It gets you above head level so people can see the machine across the room.
Well, the only topper that I've seen that I like, the only video topper like program that I like, is Todd McEwen's.
Yeah, so it looks good.
If somebody were looking into it, that's who I'd call.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I think I want those too, because they make it seamless with the machine too. It's nice. Plug and play.
When will ATMs, Cali ATMs ask this, when will ATMs ever become passive?
When someone else does all the work. You know, but then at that rate, you know, I feel like you don't grow as much too, because you're not out there.
You could just be an investor. I mean, there are people that are putting up the money for other people to grow their ATM companies, and maybe they're a partner in it. I know guys here in New Orleans that are growing big portfolios, and they're doing it with someone else's money who's like a silent partner that has equity. So for that guy, it is passive. They're sitting back, chilling, traveling, whatever, getting their monthly deposit. And the guy that's doing all the work is like running around 7 days a week, dealing with all. That is a good place to be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not sure what's going on. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds a little better.
There you go.
Are you worried about cash going away?
Not for a while. You know, at least 5-10 years. I mean, cash is still around now, even after they came out with credit cards and everything. You know, wasn't that supposed to take that over anyway? You know, people still want some people want the privacy of cash. Some people want the ease of use. You know, you go somewhere, it's $10 and you hand them a $10 bill. Okay, it's done. It's not like, oh, it's processing, it's waiting. Okay, you're good. Sign your receipt or swipe your finger on the tablet. You know, it's quick and seamless. Yeah. So, you know, there's I don't think there's much of a way to really beat it at this point.
I
You
mean,
know?
it's definitely declining.
Yeah.
If you look at like my portfolio since I started, I mean, for sure, the usage has declined a
Yeah.
lot from the beginning. And even when I got in, it had declined a lot from, the years before me when I heard the stories of what I considered like the old timers who had been in a long time. And they were telling me the stories from the 90s of the numbers they were doing. So it's been declining for a long time, but there's still a
Yeah.
lot of money in it.
Yeah.
And eventually, it'll, like everything else, it'll eventually probably come to an end, but it could
Yeah.
take a while before that happens. And you just got to get more picky about locations, and you got to make better deals. I mean, the deals today are a lot better than the deals before COVID.
Mm.
We were giving out just insane splits before. So now our volume's lower than it was before COVID, but our deals are better. So in a lot of
Mm.
cases, we're making more than we were making before COVID on a lot of
Yeah.
locations. So it just depends on how you run your business, what kind of deals you make. We have another question once again from Dave. He wants to know, do you have any cash to card machines?
Cash to card? No. I worked on a couple of them. I mean, the idea seems cool. They're a little pricey,
Mm-hmm.
and then they have their own set of network fees and everything just to run through their system.
Mm-hmm.
And then what is it? I think you have to have Armored Car pick up the money because it's not really your cash, and I forget
Yeah.
how that works with
It depends on
MSB.
which company. It
Yeah,
depends on which company you're running through and all. We just got into it, and we have like our first few locations about to go in. So we'll see how it goes. But you're right, it's very expensive, and it's a little bit harder, in my opinion, than
but the good thing, you get like a flat rent on it because you're
Mhm.
providing a service at that point. So I mean, it's almost, I guess you could say, guaranteed income, and you could even project your ROI almost.
Yep. The
But
ROI is strong. It is strong. It's an expensive machine, but you can make your money back fast.
yeah.
Dave asked, where can I get the money for my ATMs?
Well, do what I did, go to work. Usually save up some money, because banks don't like to give cash. Banks might give you money for equipment and things like that, but the cash part, that's a big hurdle to get through.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think, of course, first used machines are bought cash and stuff, but my first new machine I bought on a 0 interest credit card and paid it off in a few months or so just so I could string it along. And that's one way to do that part. But the cash is, you know, call on some friends and family, relatives, try to pay them off over a certain number of months, as long as you can keep up with the payments.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to dig yourself in a hole because, that's a whole nother story if you do that.
Yep. That's the problem. It happens in this business too. I have seen, as much as I tell people to grow as fast and aggressively as you can, I've seen people grow too fast, and they had good locations and everything, but they just grew so fast they couldn't keep up with it. And I've watched some of those collapse over the years, where some of us scratch our head and say, how did this guy go out there and build this huge portfolio of like prime locations that should be so profitable, but they just overextend themselves, they borrow a lot of money at high interest, and next thing you know, they run it into the ground. So it happens. You have to be, I wouldn't say that it's so much that they were growing too fast as much as it is like you're coupling up growing too fast with them also not really knowing how to efficiently run a business. And
Yeah,
that's a recipe for disaster because they don't know how to actually scale.
yeah,
So, we have a couple more questions before we wrap up.
yeah.
What kind of split do you give a gas station?
I mean, out here, gas stations are very difficult. They all want half. That's like typical. That's just what they
Uh,
start with. And a lot of them here want a sign-on bonus, and it's usually like $1,000 a year of the contract. So you want a 5-year contract, you got to pay them 5,000 today, and the
mhm,
50/50 starts today also.
mhm, mhm,
And then what some of them do is a few months go by and they rename the gas station to who knows who, their brother or something, and well, now they get another machine. I've walked in the gas stations to do a service call, and there's 3 machines in there, and I'm like,
Mm.
"What's going on here?" Like, so gas stations are a tough one unless you get a nice family-owned, like mom and pop kind of spot. You know, it's a bit difficult out here. I don't know
Gas
how many.
stations make a lot, but I
Yeah,
don't like them. I stopped really pursuing gas stations a
yeah,
while ago, probably like almost 10 years ago when we started moving more towards hotels and malls and more of these like corporate type locations. And the reason I didn't like them is because of what you just said. One, they want everything and there's no loyalty. They'll move to make a little bit more money. They want sign on bonuses, but also like they change hands a lot. They constantly sell and then boom, they're gone. And now you're dealing with a new owner who maybe has another ATM guy. So I just got tired of that. And it's so competitive. Like
yeah,
100 ATM guys a week are stopping at a gas station. So I'm not discouraging it. I mean, it's a great fit for some people. It's just not a fit for me. Like I like hotels, I like bars, I
yeah.
like you know, malls, office buildings, hospitals.
Mm,
I'm, not really into the gas station thing. And then of course now we're doing a lot of FI stuff and
mm,
airports, and also like I've kind of tried to move away from the places where they're just like always calling you and
yeah,
always mad about nothing and always trying to nickel and dime you, and basically move to places where no news is good news. Like
yeah,
a big hotel, they do not care about the ATM. They do not depend on the money from the ATM. As long as that ATM is not broken, you're not going to hear from them. If you don't hear from them, that's a good thing. And as long as there's not a problem, they are not going to leave. Like it's not worth their time to go through the trouble of changing because it's not really something they care that much about. I mean, I've had locations actually forget that they even had an ATM.
yeah.
Like we'll end up talking to them years later about a renewal, and he'll be like, "Wait, we have an ATM? Where?" It's like, "Oh, it's in some corner in your lobby," and you're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I forgot we even had that thing." Like it's not their top priority for sure, and I actually think that's a good thing.
yeah,
All right, last question. I think came from Facebook. Oh, we're
oh
able to
yeah,
pop it up here on the screen.
there you
From
go.
Ryan Lawrence, good buddy out in Arkansas with a great company. He wants to know, what's your opinion on cash loading for other operators?
I mean, cash loading's cool. I do it for a number of people. I mean, there's some money in it. You get a little a foot in the door kind of thing. You could do the service for them. You know, they get a site. You could install it, make some money off that, and you're there kind of for them, really. You know, maintain it, make sure everything's good, keep the merchant happy, keep the owner informed of the location. So I mean, you're doing a little extra work, I guess, at that. But
Mm,
it's not bad if it's in your route and you're making some money every month off it. You
mhm.
know, as long as you got enough money to go around, it doesn't hurt. You know, make an extra $100 here, a few hundred there, and decent locations. And if they're not, well, you got to cut it and you got to tell them like, hey, this one's not doing enough transactions. It's not meeting my, you know, my numbers that I need to go
Mhm.
there. So it gets tricky. It's fun.
I mean, my opinion on it is it's great because if people weren't doing it, I'd be in a bad spot because
Yeah.
that's what we depend on 100%. So I like it, but personally, I don't do it for anyone. But a lot of people do it for us, and
Mm.
actually, I would do it. If I had people out loading or if I was out loading my own machines, if it's on the route, like you said,
Yeah.
and you're passing it anyway, you might as well if the
Yeah.
deal.
Exactly.
So like, why not? And that was supposed to be the last question, but we did just get one more. Let me take this one down. Okay. The last question is, what are your thoughts with loading gaming arcade locations, and is it risky?
I mean, sometimes the climate changes out here, and one gets closed down for whatever reason, and I don't know. I mean, there's some out there that do very, very well, over 1,000 transactions a month. So, I mean, people could make good money in there, but doing that, then your exposure goes up because 1,000 transactions, that's not $2,000 in the machine anymore.
Have you
There's
ever had like an ATM seized in one of those where they?
no, I've had the places closed down, and things like that. I had one change ownership recently. I had to pull, but no, usually they close before it gets to that. And I try to like vet the location a little bit. Say how long have you been here? Like are these owners like kind of shady? Like what are they really doing? Like you got to feel it out a little bit because I've had some where I said no, I'm not loading that. That I don't like this spot. you
You
know,
have to be like that about, everywhere. If you're not comfortable
yeah,
that it's safe enough to load or that somebody might not, run a car through it, you have to evaluate wherever it's going because there
yeah,
are a lot of risks these days. Damn, we just got well, I was supposed to be the last question, but we just got a few more. We'll squeeze them in real quick.
yeah.
Okay, so somebody asked me, what's one thing you would do differently in the early days?
Hmm.
For sure, I would have hired sales reps sooner.
Hmm.
I did it pretty early on, but when I say hired sales reps sooner, I mean like plural. Like I remember my first rep was 2012, and I was paying this guy like $500 for each contract he got signed. The
Hmm.
problem with doing it that way is he signed up every crappy location ever. So I learned a lot from that and changed the formula. Now we have a pretty cool formula that's based on like how long is the contract, how profitable is it, and they get paid based on that formula. And I just wish, not that I regret anything, but like if I had to do it again, which I'm kind of doing it again right now, building tower,
Yeah.
the one thing that I'm doing differently is like I'm investing in having a bunch of reps up front,
Hmm.
and it's expensive. It's a lot of headaches and time spent training people and finding out which ones are actually the right ones and which ones aren't. But you can scale so much bigger by having sales reps out there.
Hmm.
You're only one person and you can only go to so many places. So if I were doing it again, I'd have a few reps like right away. I would just go get some reps, and it's not even people that you really have to give a salary to. You can go find people who are already selling credit card services or already selling some other similar service in your key verticals, and you can work a deal with them to pay them very well to get you some accounts. So you should have a bunch of those people pounding the pavement. And I would also hire a remote person on like Upwork or some website like that to do a bunch of outreach over the internet, like in Facebook groups and on like maybe they can do emails, maybe they can do phone calls. It all depends on who you get. But right now we have people making calls, we have people doing emails. We have people going in the Facebook business owner groups and all for Tower. So I would take what I'm doing now with Tower and do that back then with ATMs, and I'd say we'd probably be like 10 times bigger if we.
Hmm.
So that's definitely one thing I learned. And the reason I didn't do it is because like back then I was just thinking smaller and I didn't really have as much money. So now I would advise anybody starting out do it that way now. And actually it's easier now because you can actually get remote people on the internet. You can actually reach lots of people through Facebook in these groups and all where they didn't have that back when I started. So I'd say it's easier now.
Yeah.
And DM businesses and the business owner gets a message right on their phone.
Yeah.
Never had that. We had to actually go there.
Yeah.
So
Do that.
yeah, for sure. And yeah, I think actually that's it. That's all of the questions. A couple people said, oh wait, no, I had to scroll down. A few people said they did get their cash seized. See, Tyler said that.
Yeah. I heard about that.
Somebody said, "Do you guys go through banks, Loomis, or independent loaders?" I'm all independent loaders,
Yeah.
but Blake, you load yourself. right?
Yeah, I load myself. I have a few loaded sites through another like big company, I guess. So they have their own like employees that go out. So I guess that's like semi-independent, and then I try to put stuff, because I bring on new people starting in the business too. And, well, they send me their address and stuff, and it's like, okay, you want me to think of stuff around by you to load. This way you could kind of get your feet wet a little more and feel out the rhythm of the business. And they're like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, okay. Yeah, I could fill this spot for you. Okay, well, it goes through 1,000, every few days, and put a couple thousand in there and you'll be good for the
Mhm.
week. And they're like, oh, okay, this is cool, and they get the rhythm of it, because a lot of times they might get a slow spot at first, and they don't get like a rhythm to it, or routine, I guess you could say, even though
Mhm.
we try not to be routine, but just to go once a week or something.
They either love it or they hate it. That's what I find.
Yeah,
We
you
get
got to
people
get them
starting
into
out
it.
trying out floating, and some of them love it right away, and they want as many as they can get. And other people absolutely hate it. They
Yeah,
don't want to do this. It sucks. Like I want to, but you know who hates it? People that are not like us. That
yeah,
are like, oh, it's the weekend. I don't work on the weekend. It's like, all right, well, just go take your cash out because you're not
yeah,
ever going to make it in this business. If they say I don't go out on the weekend, or I'm off today, or I'm at a party, or any of that stuff, like they don't have the work ethic to do what we do. I tell them
yeah,
that to their face. I'm like, look, like go get a job or something, because this
yeah,
is like you'll never make it in this business if you have that mentality of like I'm off today, I'm on vacation today, or whatever. Like I've never in the 16 years or however long now I've been doing this have had a day off. It never happens. I don't care if I'm traveling on the other side of the planet. Like I'm still working, and it's always going to be that way. And I don't mind it because that's what I signed up for. So
yeah,
if you're not okay with that, go get a job and work your 9 to 5. It's cool. We need people to do that. We need
yeah.
people in the
Get your
world.
401k, do your
Yeah,
whole thing,
exactly.
get the
Just
benefits.
don't get in this business for sure.
Yeah,
Okay, so last couple things. Somebody asked how you get money from the bank. I'll just quickly summarize that and be like, it depends on the bank. You can
yeah,
either, some banks have a lot of money on hand, you can pick it up. Some banks make you order it and pick it up at a certain day and time. And some banks, you need to get armored car to like deliver the money to you. So
yeah,
it really just depends on the bank. And it's way different than it used to be, because I remember the days when you could pull up to a Capital One and get unlimited money in 20s. It seems like any Capital One used to have like anything. You'd be like, hey, we need 250,000 in 20s. They're like, okay, give us 10 minutes. And you're like, damn, really? Like nowadays you go in there, you're like, just give me $20,000. And they're like, oh no, you got to
no,
order. We don't
we
keep
don't
money.
have that.
Yeah. So things have changed with that. And do you do, Blake, do you do anything besides ATMs?
Well, I guess, does ATM service count? That's most of it. Just ATM service, loading, and help people start in the business. I buy
Yeah,
and sell machines as needed, and I got equipment available. Just everything ATM.
everything ATM, the ATM king.
Yeah,
And we got asked, what is Tower? Tower is an indoor digital billboard that's taking over the world right now.
yeah, it's
We're
really
putting
cool.
it, we've really narrowed it down. We're putting it almost exclusively in grocery stores. I mean, that's
Mm,
like where it really works. We really don't put them in C stores or dispensaries or anything like that. There's a couple little verticals outside of that, but groceries are big, and we're really scaling. We have a big announcement in about 2 weeks. It's just going to be like mind blowing for everybody. And it's going to be a lot of towers all over the place. So we're excited about that, and we're probably 2 maybe 3 weeks out from that announcement. Very exciting.
nice.
And how do you start an ATM business? You go on Facebook and you join the ATM Business Startups group.
Yeah, come through. Say
Yeah,
what's up.
that's where
Someone
you
in
go.
your area.
That's where you do not buy a course. If you buy a course, like I'm even going to say my opinion on the courses. Don't buy a course. It's a total waste of money and time. Like, actually, first off, the people who sell the courses, they don't even have any ATMs. They have, like, if they do, they have like 5 or 10 or 12 or whatever. They don't know anything about ATMs. They just started doing this. They got into it so they can sell courses. Or really, maybe they got into selling courses because they sucked at actually building an ATM company. Because had they been good at it, they wouldn't need to sell courses. So don't buy a course, don't buy a program. Just go on the ATM Business Startups group on Facebook, where all the real veterans are who can actually teach you the business for free and know way more than any course could ever teach you. So please save yourself, $10,000 or $20,000 or whatever these so-called gurus are charging these days for their ineffective courses.
Yeah, there's a lot of free resources. Come get them.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's it. We're gonna wrap it up. Blake, tell everybody where they can find you.
Everywhere. Instagram, Facebook. Facebook, you find my name. That's pretty easy. In the group, I'm all over. Then Facebook or Instagram, yeah, I got at Piha Corp, Piha Corp, like corporation. See, sometimes I post some event stuff and things like that. See what I'm up to. Got some cool videos on there if you check it out too.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just message me or whatever you need. I'm around.
That's awesome. Everybody go follow Blake, and he's also got a separate page for his beard, so you can follow his beard as well. I'm playing, but you know what? If you did have a separate page for your beard, the way things are these days, you'd probably have like 1 billion followers.
Yeah, I might be able to sell a course on beards.
Exactly. So awesome. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you, Blake, for your time. And we are going to have another live, like maybe, let's see, do I have this? Let me just say that real quick. No, I don't know. I believe it's next week or the week after with Todd McEwen.
Yeah.
It may not be scheduled yet, but if it's, oh yeah, it is. Wait, she said yes. Yes, like yes, it's next week, or yes, the week after. I'm waiting for a response.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Well, whenever it is, we're going to post it, and we'll let everybody know. Oh, next Thursday. It's next Thursday, 5 p.m. Central.
Yeah.
With Todd McEwen, who's got the best, like I said earlier, the coolest, best topper program in the market. So if you're interested in toppers and adding toppers to your ATMs, I've haven't been a fan of that in a while, but I'm a fan of Todd and I'm a fan of what he's doing. And I actually think what he's doing will work versus some of these other guys out there. So tune in next week and learn all about it.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks.
And thank you, Richie.
Bye.